So I get this question a lot. Laurel, what KPIs should I be tracking when it comes to retargeting? And a lot of my students, whenever I give them the answer, they're like, what? But it's true. And I don't track KPIs in the sense that the answer that you guys want me to give you, but give me a couple of minutes and I'll explain what I mean. But first, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Laurel Portier, and I help digital business owners just like you gain more clients using video marketing and simple ad strategies so that they can create a reliable place to get new customers. And in every single episode of Video Marketing Secrets, I give you one thing that you can implement that's going to give you edge over your competition, because a lot of the things that I'm teaching right here, your competitors are not doing. And I want to focus on saying that every single thing that I'm giving you guys has a very, very friendly budget, okay? So especially retargeting ads. Now, a lot of people neglect to touch ads altogether, but I'm here to say that most of you guys who are watching this video right now should be doing at least a retargeting ad, okay? Now I'm gonna show you guys why they're budget friendly and why I don't measure those certain KPIs like I have my students measure KPIs on top of funnel ads, and I have them measure their KPIs on their conversion campaigns. But for their retargeting sequence, I tell them to just lay back and let that content flow, because here's the thing, and I just gave my students this example. So let's say that I get targeted by Frank Kern, and he's putting together one of his $97 challenges. I see him put together a lot of these lately. And so let's say I see his ad, right? And then he retargets me, right? Now, I tell my students to use a reach campaign because a lot of them are using a very small budget. If people are visiting our sales page, more than likely we don't have to optimize to get sales, because if people are visiting our sales page, more than likely we've already, one, optimized top of funnel for conversions, or two, they're interested in what we have. And so we want to make sure that our retargeting sequence, our nurture sequence, right, to get people to the sale, that is the whole strategy behind retargeting. Is we want to leave breadcrumbs for people to make it to the sale. And so here's why I don't measure those KPIs of click-through rates and all of that stuff. Now, I do measure some things, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But for the most part, I don't worry about it too much, because if I go back to the example about Frank Kern, if I am watching, an offer from Frank Kern, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know who this Frank Kern guy is or whatever. And he retargets me with amazing content. He is hitting everything, that all of my pain points, beating my objections, and it's all just goodwill content. This content doesn't have, call to action or whatever, which retargeting content, you're going to want to find balance, right? I teach my students balance of power content and content that is going to have a call to action, because at the end of the day, we do want to push back to that sale, but we should have a nice mix of both. And so let's say Frank keeps targeting me with this all high value content. Probably in 7 days, I'm going to be like, oh man, this Frank Kern guy is pretty valuable, giving me lots of free information. Let me go. What was his offer again? Let me go back and see. And then he's obviously going to retarget me with that offer. Frank Kern, I use that as an example because his IBB strategy, which is very, very similar to what I teach my students, is a very, very awesome and profitable strategy that does not cost a lot. You can start videos at $1 a day, and it's going to work really, really good. And what I love about his IBB framework, again, very similar to what I do with my students, is we do power content. Then the second tier of content has the offers. And then there's another tier of content, which is the retargeting. That's going to have a mix of both, right? So very, very inexpensive. I'll give you guys a real life example. One of my students, she has a high ticket coaching program that teaches people how to do pop-up groups, right, with Facebook. And we literally run 2 ads for her campaign at $2 and $3 a day. Okay. She's taking home an extra $20,000 to $30,000 every other week because of that $2 ad and that $3 ad. And those 2 ads are simply just reach campaigns that are retargeting people who visited her initial offer. and it's just high value content that's taking people back to the sale. Like a lot of times people will tell her that they are seeing her everywhere. And that's what we want to do. We want to use retargeting as an omnipresence strategy so that when people are visiting your offer, all of a sudden they're going to start getting high value content. They're going to start getting paid, like salesy content. We want to have that nice mix of both. And so we want to make sure that we are utilizing that. And so I look at retargeting as breadcrumbs instead of, the click-through rate to this. And while I am looking at the content that people are engaging with, right, Facebook will show you how much engagement that content got. I am keeping an eye on that. But as I'm shooting new content, just like this video right here is going to end up in my retargeting sequence so that people who are checking out my $7 program or who have visited it from a cold ad are going to start seeing my value content. They're going to be like, wow, this Laurel gives away a lot of content. I bet you there's a ton of value in her $7 program. And while they're watching this video right here, they might not go and buy it from this video, but because of this video, they might go and type in ad coaching for 7, or next time they see my ad, they'll buy. Okay. So that's why I don't bother with KPIs on my retargeting, because I understand that there's an entire 30,000 foot view of the buyer's journey that people need to go through. And so my retargeting, I care less about the KPIs, and I care more about them seeing my face. I care more about them seeing my value. So if you guys are interested in my $7 program, if you are watching this as part of my nurture sequence, I want to personally invite you to my $7 program. I know you're skeptical. You probably think that there's a lot of fluff inside that $7 program, but there are 60 plus trainings that will not only cover Facebook advertising, but also an organic strategy. And I started loading up a diversification strategy in there that covers YouTube ads right now. And pretty soon there's going to be LinkedIn and Twitter and all kinds of fun stuff. And the $7 program even comes with 2 live coaching calls every single month. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Video Marketing Secrets. For those of you guys who want to join my $7 program, go to adcoachingfor7.com, and I will see you guys on the next episode.